Hello. Hello. It is I, Amte. I will be doing a tutorial on how to do faces, because I've gone over it in some simple things on some other really crappy tutorials, so here I was going to try to make a better one. And I was actually going to show two different ways to make faces. One is, well, I'm just going to call them the halves rule and then the thirds rule. And the thirds rule actually has some halves in it, so. Anyway, so I know many of my new watchers are mostly watching me just for my costumes, and, well, hopefully you can live with me drawing and doing costumes at the same time, because most of what I've been doing lately as to why I haven't been putting up as many videos is because I've been distracted with, you know, Tumblr and silly things like, you know, school and finals. Actually, right now I should be working on my final, but my computer doesn't stay on for very long, so that's why I'm going to do a quick tutorial. So, first off, I drew a couple circles here, and it's just pretty much the rule of thumb as to what I'm doing when it comes to starting up a face. This is going to be just the frontal shot. I'll do profile in a different video just to keep everything simple. Firstly, I'll do what I usually do, which is my rule of halves, is where I break the head up into a rectangle sort of shape with the ball on top, and I'll line roughly in where the middle of the top and bottom are. This is the dividing line, and it is also where the eyes are set. Needs to be a little bit lower. And usually from there, I eyeball it and I make 5 spaces. It's probably a more mathematical way to do this, but that's what I do. And this is where the width of the eyes will be. And then halfway in between this line and this line, there will be a nose. I'm going to round this out real quick just to get the shape of the head going. The head is usually like an egg shape, an upside down egg. Like that. But upside down. Anyway. And halfway between the nose, the end of the nose, and the bottom of where the chin is, it's usually where the mouth is. Sometimes it's a little higher. This is where it's all dependent on who you're drawing and how you're drawing it. So, for my liking, I will do it about 2/5 of the way down. And here is the basic setup. The end of the wings of the nose, which I'll be drawing, are going to end at the corner where the tear ducts are in the eyes. So let's start off with the nose, just since I'm down here. The nose is fairly, well, depending on what style you're going for. I usually like to start off with the nostrils real quick. There's a couple different ways you can draw nostrils. I usually end up drawing them down, but there's few different variations of nostrils in realism, which is where sometimes the person's nose is very pointy and upward, so the nostrils appear this way, or it points down that where you can't really see into the nostril very much, and you see it being pointed downward. So in this case, this is a sort of in the middle. Now the wings of the nose come up and around, and they're at the corner of the eyes. And I like to go and add a little round part to show where the point of the nose is, or where the ball of the nose is. That's what my teacher called it. And so you have the ball, you have the nostril holes, you have the wings, and this is the bridge. And depending on how the person's bridge of their nose is, sometimes when the person's bridge is crooked, you'll see it, the nose shape kind of looks like that in a frontal view. But just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to do a really basic straight nose. And if you're going in for realism, you can always shade around. Now for the eyes. Tear ducts here. And simply about the eyes is, here's your line for where the eyes are going to be. And it's a sort of rhombus shape. One side is longer than the other. And the short side on top points towards where the tear duct will be. And this is where the end of the eye is going to be. It looks like that. And then it's rounded out. And there's this nice S curve that goes in like that. Depending on how you do it, you can exaggerate it or you can very much just simplify it. So I'll go in and draw that. There we go. Now for the irises and the pupil, there's a sort of style that goes around in sort of, you know, normal, like American and like other cartoon styles, Asian, different cultures. And it's always like, it's a very just, usually you see it in cartoons, and people end up throwing that into their other styles. And that's fine. It's where you take a simple eye shape and you end up drawing the iris very small and not touching the edges. And I forget what particular styles you see that in. Usually in shonen animes you see it in that. Where in realism, that hardly ever happens unless you have somebody's eyes bulging out of their head. When you have the eye, the iris is always touching, at least one side is touching one of the lids. So this is instance. They're just gonna, this face will be simple, whatever. As for the eyebrows, I usually just kind of like in the basic area of where I have it, there's the eyelid, and then it starts usually right about here. Unless this is usually very just well estimated with how I draw, which is the rule of halves. Now for the mouth. The mouth, I like to cut into 5 different little bald chunks. You have the upper lip, which is 3, which ends up looking like this. The lower lip, which is 1, which adds to that plump there. And you can go under it, kind of goes like that. Then you have that dip there. It's all dependent on how you draw. So for this part, to get the exact length of how wide the mouth is, you take center line from the eyes and you drop it down. And it meets where the corners of the mouth will be. So, there we go. Now, for the jawline, this is fairly dependent. The part where it starts to arch into the chin is usually around this area, depending on the person's face. It's usually, it can be past the mouth line, or it can be starting around here, depending on, you know, the shape of their face, the rectangular, like round, square, heart-shaped faces, all different sorts. Let me fix this up. This is a fairly androgynous face, I think. As for the ears, they connect to the head at eye height, they raise up to brow height, they drop down around where the bottom of the nose is, and connect a little above that. Now for the, usually halfway between the top of the head and the bottom, and the eye line is the hairline. This is a fairly oval, I think, face. The neck, I'm just going to throw that in real quick, comes out like that, usually. I just always have to throw on the neck when I'm doing a face, because it's just reflexive. Alright, so that's the halves rule. Now for the thirds rule. It starts out similar to the halves rule with me. It's a rectangle, but we're gonna, at this point, ignore where the top of the head is. What we're gonna start at is the hairline. And what we do is we break it into thirds. See, the halves rule is more tended towards my style as to, like, hairline is actually. You take a third and you break it in half, and you add half of a third on top, and that's where the hairline will start. This is more for realism. Now, this line right here is for the eyebrows. And, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to read over my notes to make sure. And down here, this one's for the bottom of the nose. So I'm going to go in and throw in the nose. And make the eyebrows. This particular style is really good with figuring out, replicating a portrait of someone, because it helps map out the features more easily, because a lot of this is seen by eye. Now, also similar to this style as the halves rule is this is cut into thirds again. And this is where the chin is. This is where the lips are. Wait. Okay, yes. Lips are here. They start there. And depending on the person, lips are however big you want them to be. So they're gonna go here. I'm gonna wait for whoever's walking around the house to go to bed. And I'm gonna throw in the fifth rule again for the eyes. As I am doing these eyes, I'm going to tell you a quick story. Very funny by chance. In high school, I was in one of my classes. Oops, I almost forgot. I think this is where it is. Oh gosh, I'm screwing this up so bad. A, B, brow, nose. I really need to learn to write down more notes, not just like point lines. I believe it's about a third of the way down. That's where the line of the eyes are going to be. Anyway, in high school, part of the art club, and in one of my art classes, there we were learning how to draw the face, and the teacher was pretty much bad at teaching the whole portion with the eyes, and he thought the end of the face was like here, because he was using a picture of one of the students as an example. The problem was, the student was wearing makeup, so her eyes were elongated to the point where it looked like there was like this big chunk of space missing. And it was just bad for the whole example. And when I went and told everyone, everybody started yelling at me, telling me I was wrong. It was just kind of horrible. So, there, eyes. Where you place the eyes usually is actually kind of dependent on how far down from the brow they are. An example, if you're using a photo as reference. Me, however, I am not. And same with the halves rule, down from the center of the eye. Actually, wait. Wrong. I was wrong with this part. You take the center of that and you take it from the corners of the iris down. And then it goes smiley face. See, that mouth is actually much smaller than that one. Yay. And down from this mouth again. Do the angles upward to the mouth height and contour the face. I'm actually thinking of starting to do my style this way because it looks quite nicer. Because this one you can tell it's really stylized, and this one actually does look better. And that's about it. Oops. Neck. Down. These are both fairly androgynous faces. This one looks a little more feminine due to the lips. So, there, I hope it helped. I hope this tutorial helped you. Oh, also, for the ears. Hope this tutorial helped you. And if it was helpful, go ahead and like it, favorite it, however you want to do. And if it didn't help you, oh well. There's plenty of tutorials in the world. One, hopefully, you can understand. And, yep. I hope you enjoyed it, considering how spotty my speech patterning was. So, yeah. Goodbye.